Tremendous honor to be the first speaker for such a distinguished delegation into Israel. And since I am going to spend the next, I suppose, 3 years in the United States as Consul General of Israel, let me start with a few words in the tongue of the land, in the language most widely spoken in the United States, in Spanish. No te voy a tener pocas oportunidades de hablar en español en los próximos años en Nueva York. También tengo pocas oportunidades ahora chilenos.
Mexicanos. México.
Así que quiero usarlo por unos minutos. En realidad la única oportunidad que tengo ahora de hablar en español, en castellano, como nosotros argentinos lo llamamos, es cuando hablo por teléfono, cuando visitar a mi mamá, pero ella se queja que no lo hago demasiadamente frecuente, así que está un poco oxidado mi castellano, pero a pesar de eso, pensando que voy a hablar en inglés los 3 próximos años, hablar en castellano, hablar en español es como calzar un zapato más cómodo. Let's go back to English. Duty calls. My friends, my academic field of studies, I'm not a career diplomat. It will be my first, and I suppose my last, diplomatic appointment. Prime Minister Netanyahu requested me to go first to Brasilia, then we switched to New York, which is a good deal, I think. Since I'm not, my field of studies, my master's degree is in finance. So I suppose to be, with quotation marks or without quotation marks, an expert on investments, with quotation marks, by the way. Now, I am sure that Richard and Izzy and Zeev can explain better than me why to invest in Israel bonds has a good ROI and ROI, etc., etc. I want to make another point. I want to assure you that investing in Israel is without no doubt, without any competition, by far, the most exciting investment a person and a Jew can make. Let's, for instance, take Apple Corporation. What can you think about Apple and you think, how it's so exciting? Steve Jobs made such an exciting device. Compare that excitement with the city of Tel Aviv. A city that 100 years ago was just a bunch of sand dunes, and today is one of the most incredible, thriving metropolis in the world. Can you compare the excitement of helping Tel Aviv develop to this device? No, no way. Tel Aviv is much more exciting. Can you compare the excitement of investing in the search engine of Google with the excitement of investing in the incredible miracle of the return of the Jewish people, dispersed 2,000 years in the 4 corners of the world to his ancient homeland? There is anything in the world that can be compared with the excitement, with the pride, with the importance of investing in that endeavor, in Shivat Zion, in the return of the Jewish people and the rebirth of Israel, Jewish sovereignty in the Jewish homeland, ancient homeland? No way. And for that reason, I hope you make money from your investments in Israel bonds. I'm sure you will. But you can't be proud of being partners in which, I'm not objective, of course, I'm Jewish, but I am sure it is the most amazing, the most incredible project ever carried out by humanity, the return of the Jewish people to Eretz Israel, to the land of Israel. And for that, we should be proud. For being partners to that of I will tell you, my friends, you came to Israel in what may be the most solemn week and the most joyous week in Israel's Seder calendar. Last week, we marked Yom HaShoah, the day of remembrance for the Holocaust, which made us remember what dear price we paid for not having a Jewish state. Wednesday, matter of fact tomorrow evening, we will mark Yom HaZikaron, Memorial Day, which marks the heavy price we pay for having, in order to have a Jewish state. And then we will celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut, Independence Day, the day that marks the incredible miracle of the renaissance of Jewish sovereignty in Israel. And I will tell you very briefly why for me Yom HaAtzmaut is the most joyous day in my private calendar, not only in the national calendar, much more than even my birthday or the day I arrived to Ben Gurion, that was the Lod airport in Israel, making Aliyah. Two very short, brief personal stories to understand. The first one is not about me, it's about my wife Einat. In 1991, my wife Einat was an assistant to a cabinet minister, and she traveled with the minister to Ethiopia, to Addis Ababa, to visit the 20,000 Jews that were still there, stranded in Addis Ababa. And suddenly, an 8-year-old girl comes to her, approaches her, and pulls her skirt or her trousers, and tells her, my name is, with the translator, my name is Hannah Ingedau, I am 8 years old. This is my brother, Mekonnen Ingedau, he's 7 years old, and we're here alone. Our parents made it to Israel in Operation Moses a few years earlier, and for some reason, they had to left us there. And she told Einat with tremendous self-confidence and assertiveness. She told my wife, and now you will take me with you to Jerusalem. My wife didn't know what to do. She asked the ambassador, can I take her with me? He said, of course not, it's impossible, it's illegal, they will make trouble for all of us, etc., etc. A few weeks later, Operation Solomon, Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir ordered to strip all the aircrafts of El Al from their seats, and added to that military aircrafts. And in an unprecedented operation, the 20,000 Jews from Ethiopia were airlifted to Israel in 36 hours, including Hannah and Mekonnen Ingedau, that reunited, tearing, crying, with my wife present with their parents in Israel. That is the importance. When we say, why do we need a Jewish state? That is the personal experience that ever will be in my heart, why we cannot we must have a Jewish state. And the last story I will convey to you is personal for me. My father, whose name incidentally was Moshe Dayan, a distant relative of the famous general, we are distant, we are of the same clan, let's say. My father was born in 1920 in the Ukraine, in a small shtetl in the Ukraine. Those were years in which there were terrible pogroms, and of course later they were overshadowed by the Shoah, by the Holocaust, so we barely remember those days when we learn history. And they had to flee. They had to flee the Ukraine, first to Poland and then to Argentina. And my father was barely 6 months old. Of course, he didn't remember that, he already passed away, but he didn't remember that story, but he knows it from stories he was told. They approached the Polish-Ukrainian border. They waited for a dark night without a moon, not to be discovered by the guards of the Ukrainian side and the Polish side. And they put my little father in a sack of potatoes with a cloth, with his mouth wrapped in a cloth, in order to prevent him from crying and they be discovered and jailed or worse than that. And that's the way he first, for the first time in his life, he crossed the border. When they arrived to the Polish side, they opened the sack to check if he was alive or, God forbid, suffocated. If I'm here, you understand that he was alive. In a few months, I will cross the border. I will cross the virtual Israeli-American border in an El Al plane, in an El Al aircraft that will take off from Ben Gurion and land in JFK. I will cross that border with a diplomatic passport, bearing the menorah and two olive branches, and the Hebrew letters Yud, Sin, Resh, Aleph, Lamed, Israel, Medinat Israel, the state of Israel. That is the way my father, as a Jew, crossed for the first time a border in 1920. That is the way I will cross the border 100 years later. It's not a personal story. It's not a family story. It's the story of the state of Israel. It's the story of Zionism. It's the story of the fact that the Jewish people took its fate in its hands and made it. And we are not anymore victims of pogroms, but an independent, sovereign state in our ancient homeland. I thank you very much for your being partners of that incredible endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I have, I'm breaking out of the protocol